Okay, so welcome everyone to the October meeting of the IGDA-TC, the Twin Cities chapter of the International Game Developers Association. I'm L. Bergmoss. I'm a member of the board, going to be running the event tonight. There have been several last-minute changes here, so if anyone was dead set on seeing Josh Anthony's presentation on Godot and its sudden relevance now that we have lost faith in Unity, that will probably happen at a later time, but not tonight. So it's going to be a little... Trenton? Do you think you could possibly just advance the, or do we have someone downstairs? If not, do we have someone watching? Okay. Okay, if you go to the next slide. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, so simple intro, and then we will get into the game jam things. But typical schedule, go through a basic intro, which is this and a couple more slides. Allow for some community plugs and announcements. If anyone has something they would really like to talk about, you can get up here and do that. We have a couple of things that were pre-prepared. Then we are going to be doing the game jam itself. Now that is intended as something that will take place tonight. So about 90 minutes of development time in teams or on your own. Some amount of playtesting and handling the feedback there. We will try and do that in, I guess, about a half an hour is what we had laid out on the schedule. And then afterwards, we would have the remaining time essentially open to presentations of the prototypes people had created for anyone who was interested in doing so. We don't really have a good setup for streaming that portion, it occurs to me. So, yeah, probably at that point we will end the streaming side of that, unless there are also people on the virtual event who were interested in doing that. I wasn't seeing anyone earlier, but who knows. Then there may be a post-meeting thing. We will see. And that would also be a local-only type thing. Next slide, please. So, yeah, open to everyone. We create a safe and inclusive environment. I believe several people are new here. Welcome aboard. There is a Discord for our organization, and there is also a safe event policy. You can read up more on there, and just in general, we want to make everyone welcome here and, you know, foster new talent and whatnot. Next slide, please. So the board, as well as the volunteers, we'll be getting to in a moment, are all volunteers. Myself, Beth, Mark, David, Zach, and Peter, having a remarkable amount of disruptions at the moment, which is why I apologize for being a bit less professional than you might be used to if you're coming here more frequently. But if you have any ideas for going on further things, events that you would like to see, things that you'd like to talk about, then feel free to reach out, both about volunteering in general or just any further ideas you have. Next slide here. Then Trenton, as well as Bradley Ellenboss, Lane Davis, Stephen McGregor, Sam Baseman, and Trevor Kirchner are also volunteers for us in various capacities for helping with our playtesting event guests, running the special interest group gatherings, helping coordinate our online and social media presence, and then working with local events. So next slide. This is also a chapter of the parent organization, the International Game Developers Association, which is a professional organization for game developers and other people in the game development industry. There is a way to both create memberships and donate to them. Both are present in the slide deck. You can ask about this in the Discord as well if there were further things that you wanted to see there. Next slide. So we have 4 events. We have 6 regular events and 2 special interest group events that are intended to take place every month. First Wednesday of the month is Devs Play Games, very informal, hosted by Trenton, takes place here at the Nerdery, and is a get-together, play board games, tabletop games. We will usually have an assortment with 3 or 4 that have been selected, semi-randomly pulled out for people to enjoy. Get to know each other, do networking, play games, try out new ideas. There have been some playtesting things of board and tabletop games done there. The Gamedev meeting, which is this one, tends to be the most semi-formal, heavy on presentations, that kind of thing. Obviously not today, but meant to be a bit more in terms of industry and community presentations. Usually hosted by myself and Peter, Trenton assistant, thank you. Then the 3rd Wednesday is Twin Cities Playtest, so that is a playtest-focused event. Some things are streamed games, other ones are present physically, including sometimes, once again, tabletop board game prototypes, that kind of thing. You can sign up to bring a game, but most of the attendees do not. They are just there to play things, give feedback, and whatnot. So you're all welcome to go to that. Hosted by Lane Davis and Dale and Mark LaCroix. That one is in person at Noble Robot, which is in Minneapolis proper. And it should be noted that because that is a fairly small, fairly crowded space, that masks are required there. Then the MN, VR, and HCI meetup. Quite large, focused on virtual reality, human-computer interaction, augmented reality. Tends to be fairly industry-facing. There are always lots of events, lots of new prototypes, that sort of thing going on. Pretty big, and that is on the 4th Wednesday of the month at REM 5. You could go to the next slide here. So then there are 2 SIGs. There is a Women in Games gathering, which is meant to be informal for networking and socializing. Takes place at Wisdom Gaming, which is a esports bar at the Mall of America on the 4th floor. Out of the way, great food, surprisingly, at least I think so. But anyways, that's hosted by Beth and is a in-person event, 3rd Friday of the month. And then there is a People of Color get-together, which is hosted at Noble Robot, the same location as the playtest events. That one takes place on the 4th Saturday and is hosted by Stephen McGregor. So that's our event schedule. We do have a Discord community which we would invite you to join. More recently, we have added on a games section where we have a setup process to create a channel essentially for promoting your game or showing off prototypes or having discussions about it, anything along those lines. Playtest asks, that sort of stuff. If you are not essentially at a level where you would want your own online or social media presence. So there's a request a channel thing, you can go through there. There are also, although we don't have a slide on it at the moment, new channels intended to allow breakouts and technical discussions for things like talking about particular engines, talking about art and design, that kind of stuff. That's all emerging and organic, but you know, feel free to go there and participate. Next. Did you go too slow? Okay, so this is, I either made an error with the slide deck or we may have skipped ahead a couple of there, but we are, this is a plug, basically. This is another Discord. Well, okay, I was just, sorry, I just meant to transition news, plugs, and announcements. One of them is JAMA, which we were just on. apologies there. If anyone wants to scan that QR code or copy the, yeah, I'm pretty sure that itch link would actually just be bringing you to a link which could get you into a Discord community, but you can also ask about this. There are several people in the community who would be able to point you there. This is a Discord for an asset jam, where people are building art, music, 3D models, that kind of thing to, you know, I mean, to share around and polish their skills and whatnot. Takes place over 24 hours and happens monthly. They will, I mean, that is the main thing currently, just building out some more community there around the art and whatnot and the creativity. So if you could go to the next slide. Okay, so before this, there was one last minute announcement. Didn't make it into the slide deck. I'm going to see if I can bring it up here. And that is the 2023 Minnesota Electronic Theater. So there are submissions in the month of October, and then a jury selection is going on in parallel, and then the event itself takes place Thursday, November 30th. And this is a in-person, but I believe there is a virtual presence. Now, this is, like I said, very last minute, so I may be incorrect there. But at the Poorhouse, 10th South 5th Street, number 11 in Minneapolis. Doors open at 5 p.m. and then there is a show at 6 p.m. This is meant to showcase animations from local people, 3D art, that kind of thing. I don't know all of the specifics, but you can find the information at minnesotaelectronictheater.org. And submissions are open through the remainder of October for anyone who's interested. So. Okay, so getting a bit of a late start, but I figure, you know, we will roll with the time, see how that works in terms of going until 8:15 in terms of the game jam, just to get into a feel for what we have here. All manner of poker chips, card decks, note cards, loose leaf paper, a whole bunch of mechanical pencils, Post-it notes, index cards, and so on, and many tokens of different shapes and sizes, mostly provided by Trenton. So, you know, just grab whatever you find interesting, get to a team, or work on your own, however you'd like to tackle this, and, you know, see what you can throw together that you find kind of interesting. And, you know, I'll see how things are going. I think Mark had suggested like 2 to 4 people in the team. It's been suggested from Mark runs playtest and has a lot of experience doing small-scale game jams for his podcast, running the global game jam events, that kind of thing, to try to target like a 2 to 4 person team. You know, we'll see how that all works and if there are anyone looking, that kind of stuff. But going to turn off the mic in a second and just kind of switch over to the timer and going through and checking on people. But good luck to everyone. So, you have a nice day. Good Lord, we did not come up with one. Okay, I mean, I was going to make some kind of joke about brainstorming or running out of ideas or being.
Well, we can crowd. All right. What are some jam theme ideas? You said brainstorming. Jelly. That is a thing. All right. Brain. Oh, I got it. Jelly. What else?
Anything?
What are
probably going to go off mic for this. So the theme for this game jam will be eyes. Now, the in-person groups here are all breaking up into teams, and we will probably be going silent after that. I'll look over things to see if we should end the stream. But to anyone watching and participating virtually, good luck to you. Should say that due to some quick thinking from one of our volunteers, we do now have a Discord channel for the Game Jam if anyone virtual wants to collaborate there. So, thank you, Sam.